Yeah. Hey, you want to switch? I'll fix it for you. You want to ride this?
Yeah. Please come. Let me pull up a little bit.
All right.
Hey, your sag already feels squishier.
Yeah. Oh, this thing feels totally different than that.
Man, yeah, this thing feels weird too.
This thing feels like an 80.
Feels like a what?
An 80. A little bike. I don't know why it feels so much lighter.
This did feel much heavier lifting it off the stuff.
Yeah, man, this thing feels really light. I will see. I'll follow you.
Alright. Ooh, this thing feels weird.
Yeah, this does too.
I feel like I'm driving like a KLR 650.
I just meant it's a much lighter bike. I think the handlebars are a little narrower also, and as soon as I said 80, I was like, oh, didn't mean to say that. So I checked the specs between the 250L and the Rally, and even the wheelbase is almost an inch longer. It sits an inch higher, so the bike's definitely going to feel a little bit different. Like I said, his handlebar setup is still stock, so immediately when I get on it, it feels smaller. The bars that I have on my bike are the Pro Taper CR High bend bars. They're a lot wider, so it makes his bike immediately feel smaller. But it definitely the specs they do show, because when you're on the bikes they feel nothing like one another. It's just totally different.
Yeah.
But they're also modded differently also.
What do you think?
It feels entirely different.
Yeah, it does. It's like a totally different bike.
It's a hell of a lot heavier.
Yeah.
Like a lot heavier.
Yes.
I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, I've been talking to and I don't know if my camera can hear me, but it feels totally different. It's like two different bikes.
It is, I know. And a lot of people say they feel exactly the same. This is just varying.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know. Let me get out of these guys' way.
So it's been since April since I got my bike, April 2019, and it's honestly kind of hard to remember what it was like when it was stock. But I can definitely say it didn't feel like the 250L does. Mainly because it's like 40 pounds lighter, right off the cuff. But the gearing feels familiar. He's got just the 13 tooth in the front, so even that is a little bit different. So having the 13:42 ratio on the Rally really brings the gears closer together. You don't have such a big RPM drop between gear changes. Basically makes it a lot easier for woods riding and off-road riding, even on the street, to be honest. You would go from one gear to the next, and if you weren't really stretching the gears out, it was like it would just bog down into the next gear. Now the downfall is sixth gear. It becomes useful, but you're screaming. If the speedo says you're doing 70, you're at 7,000 RPM. I remember what brand seat he has on his bike, but it is the most comfortable motorcycle seat I think I've ever sat on. It's definitely been a pleasure. I think I sat down most of the time that I was riding it. My seat's no more comfortable than the stock one, other than it's wider in the rear. It feels harder than the stock seat, but I don't know. I don't have any discomfort from it. I mean, the bike is so easy to flick around, but it also bounces off of stuff a lot easier than the big bike, you know, which can kind of disrupt the ride a little bit. You know, the big bike just kind of plows through stuff, where this, you know, you can get a little bit more reaction out of everything you run over. You know, I'm obviously being a little more careful with his bike than I would be with mine. Not as comfortable, but it'll be nice to maybe ride it again in a different atmosphere. You know, a little bit warmer outside, you know, a little more energy. Also going into it knowing that they're not the same bike, you know. Initially, I think we both thought, you know, yeah, mine's got fairings, you know, it's got a couple inches here and there, but for the most part, we were under the assumption that the bikes were fairly similar. And it seems like really there's not much similar about them other than the engine. I do believe the horsepower is the same in the 2017 and the 2018, whether it's a Rally or the L. But really, that seems to be about all that, you know, similarity shows. And I've read a lot of articles. I read up a lot on the Rally versus this before I bought them, and I still figured they were pretty close to the same bike. And it's just a surprise, I guess. I don't know how they expect you to differentiate with all these little trails, because they have them on the map, but I don't see very many trail marker numbers, so navigating all this stuff, you know, if you did it by the map, you'd spend half the day just looking at it. I think we looked at it twice, and it was just like, we'll just go get lost, you know. At Trevorton, pretty much, if you find the power lines, you can find your way home.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, this all looks like just a little system that runs around circles. Just play around with this. I see you blast through the mud puddle with it.
Yeah. I think that's how going through mud puddles with this feels just a little bit more stable, because the front end is more heavy.
Yeah.
Or something. The front end is definitely more heavy on this. I don't know if there's something different about it. I don't know if maybe the triple tree is different, or if it's the same.
I don't know. The bar is wider too. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. You can definitely feel the difference though without having heated grip.
Yeah. I was trying to turn these off, but
yeah, if you press the minus button all the way down, it turns them off. You press it, yeah, until the light goes out.
Gotcha. They work good. I guess we'll hit down here and see if it loops around.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, I got batteries in there, but I don't feel like swapping it out now.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it.
Right.
So I got curious about what the real difference could be, so I went ahead and looked up the specs, and the rake, trail, and wheelbase are different between the Rally and the 250L. So the rake on the 250L is 27 degrees by 60, and the Rally is 28 degrees by 10. The trail is 4.4 inches on the 250L versus 4.5 on the Rally, and the wheelbase is a ½ inch longer on the Rally.
I was looking at that trail, I was like, damn, I should have went up that one.
This would have been a good place for an imaginary stop sign. For as many of the Razors that we saw, side-by-sides, they must all be on the west side. or they're far out in the mountain trails where we didn't go. Because there was definitely a lot of them in the parking lot. We didn't run into too many. I guess it was half and half between the four-wheel drive trucks and the side-by-sides. They had this little, or this Bigfoot sign up, basically telling you to go to an app and it'll give you a sticker for finding Bigfoot. So I bought some gear the day before, and also bought a pair of boots the week before.
Oh, right.
And if I was in this guy's situation, none of it would have mattered.
Yeah, man.
He's about 3.5 feet deep in a pond.
Yeah, no thanks for that. He is in there.
Son.
I think I'm gonna go around this puddle.
Yeah, I am.
So first I bought the boots. I spoke about this in the same point in my other video. They're TCX 1.1 Pros. A lot of bolstering. They seem to be insulated, but they don't have a water barrier. Really like the boots. They about break your fingers unlatching the billet latches that they put on them. So they're not going to come loose on you, but unfortunately they get very wet. So I also got a pair of goggles talked about earlier. They were the Spy Woot Race. I thought it was Woot Race, but it's Woot, whatever that means. They were great. Didn't let a lot of air in, so when I was doing 60 mile an hour down the road at 26 degrees out, I wasn't, my face wasn't getting chapped. They didn't fog up at all. I mean, you could blow as much steam as you could past your nose and they might fog for a split second. They were good. The Alpine Stars gloves, they're just all-weather gloves. Probably not the best they make, but I think they were like $90. They were actually worked pretty great. They were a little thick, but you can't have super thin gloves that are going to keep your fingers warm unless they're heated. And in that case, they're not going to be thin either. So, but they worked out well. And the balaclava, I imagine would work a lot better with a looser helmet. It's just my helmet, it is very tight. So, also bought a pair of armored pants. I think they were more for the street, but same point in time, they worked just great.
Neutral, false neutral.
How's that feel though?
When it clicks up?
Yeah, when you get it up, does it feel fine?
Yeah, it just feels normal.
That hump we hit going up.
Yeah.
I went to hold my bike, or hold it like I hold my bike. This fucking thing went. It didn't do anything, but it
right.
I was like, wait a second, I gotta remember there's a little windshield on there.
Yeah. Oh, I got an extension that makes it like this much higher.
Yeah.
I guess we'll start heading back.
Yeah, that's fine.
4 o'clock or 3 o'clock.
How you liking it there? How's it feel?
Small, but outside of that, it feels fine. It'd be nice if there was a rebound adjustment on the back.
There is.
Is there?
Yeah, it's on the bottom of the thing. You twist it.
Okay, so it feels like it springs you up too quick.
Does it? You think so?
Yeah. Yeah, it kicks you in the ass. Like if you go over a bunch of bumps,
yeah,
it's constantly rebounding too fast and hitting you in the butt.
Yeah, it does have a rebound. It's a red screw that you turn left or right.
Right.
Clockwise or counterclockwise.
Gotcha. Cool. Alright, well, I guess we'll go up here and follow that to the trailhead.
Oh yeah, we can just go straight this way.
Alright. I'll follow you.
So I think flat out, in a drag race, the bikes would probably be neck and neck, with probably the 250L walking away up top a little bit. But off-road, the L is just as capable as the Rally. I mean, I think the Rally might be a little bit more stable, and that would probably have to do with the rake a little bit. But they were great bikes. Like I said, I'd have to ride the L some more on some different terrain. But I really enjoyed it, especially the seat. I don't know how the seat would do in different situations, but I really need to stand up more. Today we were pretty weighed down with all of our gear. I kind of felt like the little brother on Christmas Story when he went out in the snow. So I was a little bulked up on clothes. I had my street bike jacket on top of all of it, had a back brace on. I had my Alpine Stars back brace for riding the street bikes, just in case. Next time I'm gonna have to get him to go over to Trevorton with me. Hit some of the hills. There's some good single track back in there. So in due time. Talked to my cousin today, and he was telling me that chances are he's not going to be riding dirt bikes and four-wheelers too much anymore. He broke his arm up at Trevorton last year, and he couldn't have it casted because it was broken near his elbow, and unfortunately it didn't heal properly, and they're talking about 2 separate surgeries to fix it, and it's like 22 grand. So unfortunately, he's probably not going to be coming riding with us unless he brings his dune buggy. And even at that, he's probably going to have to steer one-handed. He was telling me that carrying a 40-foot ladder is a lot harder than it used to be. He does home improvements and things like that. He spent most of this summer out on the boat, so he's not missing out on any fun, that's for sure. He's enjoying himself. This is the last leg of the east side coming back to the parking lot. Wasn't a bad ride up there. It took us about 2 hours and 40 minutes with my gas station sandwich stop, and probably about 2.5 to get home. We didn't hit any traffic, so it was a Saturday. Everybody parks there inside of that big bucket, takes pictures of their buggies and their bikes. Throughout the day, coming back and forth, this parking lot was completely full. People have come and gone. It looked like they had a T-Rex event for the new Kawasaki side-by-side. It's good they're doing some manufacturer stuff. Bring people to the events.